Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. What can I say? Another day, another project pen intro. So this is my new eyeshadow project pen that I want to start this year. I'm going to do the pen in every palette project, but I'm going to do it a bit differently than it normally is. So it was created by, I think it's called Lady Pens a lot on Instagram. I will have her link down below in my description box under every video that I do in this project so that you can check her out. So here's the thing, I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes in my collection that I know I cannot hit pan in easily, or that I don't wanna hit pan in just like that, just like in a project, because there are some different reasons. So one is that I don't have all of these palettes for a long time, so I just want to see where it kind of takes me naturally. And then also I know that the pens are very deep or it's a very high-end formula. I don't want to waste anything of it. So I just want to, keep it a bit slower, but I want to have pan in every eyeshadow palette in my collection until the end of the year. So that's one of my biggest goals for this year for my makeup collection. And I think I can do it with this project, but I want to do it in a bit more of a natural way. So what we are going to do is I'm going to randomly select 2 eyeshadow palettes from my collection that are in this category. So there are only, I think, only 10 eyeshadow palettes that are in this specific project. And you will see it in my Tiny Decisions app very soon. So in there are almost all of my Natasha Denona palettes, for example. I have 5 of them and 4 out of them are in this project. And then some other palettes too that fall into this category. And if I add any more palettes into my collection in this year, they will also be going into this project, I think. But we will see that when it comes to that. I haven't bought any more eyeshadow palettes in this year for now, so we will look into that if it happens. But for now, I'm just going to randomly select 2 eyeshadow palettes per month from this category that I'm just going to work on for 1 month. And then next month, when we have an update, I'm going to show you the palette. And if I have any pans, that would be awesome. But the goal is more to really focus on specific palettes and use them a lot. So to build like a foundation for a future project pan, or maybe to start hitting pan in the, in the second half of the year. So this is more like a preparation project, but also if I am able to hit pan in any of these palettes, that's awesome. So that would also be one of my goals, but I don't want to force it too much with these palettes. So let me just start by randomly selecting 2 eyeshadow palettes. So this here is the wheel with all the palettes from my collection I'm going to work on in this project. This is my pen in every palette project. And we have 11 eyeshadow palettes here. In there are all my ColourPop palettes, my Natasha Denona palettes, and then 3 or 4 other ones. You will see that when it comes to them. And yes, we're just going to randomly select 2 eyeshadow palettes. So the first one is my ColourPop Zodiac palette. Oh, and the second one is my ColourPop Hocus Pocus palette. Okay, perfect. 2 ColourPop palettes. That's very exciting because I haven't hit pan in any ColourPop palette so far. So I feel like I really have to start doing that. I'm going to grab both of them and show them to you. Okay, so here are the 2 palettes, and the first thing I have to mention is that I did change them up a bit. So both of them don't have all their original shades in there anymore, because some of them, I don't know, the quality was a bit, in this palette here, some of them were getting really old and a bit dry and dusty, so I did switch them out with some other shades from my ColourPop single eyeshadow collection. And in this here, there were just some shades that I didn't like in there or that didn't work for me, so I just switched them out with something else. So let's start with the Zodiac palette here. It was in collaboration with Kathleen Lights. I love this palette. I have had it for a really long time in my collection. So this is what my palette looks like. And I'm just going through the shades that I switched out. So it was this one here, then this one, and this one down here. So these 2 were completely dried up it was like an orangey shade and a golden peachy orangey shade, and both of them were so dry I couldn't use them anymore. So I switched up with a very light pinky shade and then also with a very light pinky shimmer shade. And I think this one is actually from the Making Morphs palette, and I think this one here too. And then I did put this one in here and this one. This was just like a warm tone transition shade that I never used, so I put a little bit of a minty color in here. I thought that it would go very nicely with the Piscis shade and also with the blue down here. And then I have put in this duochrome here. It's like one of those with a more like a brown purpley base and then with a stronger blue-green shift to it. So it's a shade I really love on my outer corners and I use it all the time, so I thought it would be a great addition for this palette, and I feel like the colors work really well together in this palette. So as you can see, I mean, you can't really see any usage on this palette, and I used it so much. So especially the Libra, I have used it a ton, and also the Cancer here. It has a bit of a dip going, but nothing really to mention. I don't know. This one here I also used a lot, and this one here, I loved Piscis. So I feel like I could have a lot more to show in this palette, but I just don't have, because ColourPop shades are really, I don't know, they're something else to work on. And yeah, so my first goal with this palette is just to use it for 1 month, as mentioned before. And then I will see during the month if I can, have any progress in it. I want to start with, really making some progress that you can see. So for example, I think I'm going to focus on this shade and maybe on this shade here, or maybe on one of the new ones. I haven't figured it out yet. I will see it during the month, and maybe I can hit pan in this palette in this month, but I'm really not sure. I know that ColourPop palettes are very hard to hit pan on, because I have it in my, my Pandit palette this year is a ColourPop palette. So yeah, the pans are very deep, so I don't know what we can do, but I'm just starting to work on this palette and I'm very excited for this one. The Hocus Pocus palette is pretty new in my collection. I just bought it when they had a restock. I think it was at the end of September or in the beginning of October. And I just wanted to have it for Halloween, and I'm a huge Hocus Pocus fan, so I was so sad that I couldn't get it last year, so I really wanted to get it this year. So this is what my palette is looking like. As you can see, I have switched out some of the shades, but not all of them. So this one is new, this one, and this one, and I think this one, I can't remember if it was in the palette or not. But I wanted to have an inner corner highlight in here, so this is I think it's an BH code. I think this one is a BH Cosmetics eyeshadow that I have repressed into this little pan. It's a white to gold duochrome. Then we have this one here. I think it's from the Making Morphs palette. And then these two are probably from the Blow and Smoke palette. So I want to have some cool tones in here. And yes, I think they go very nicely with the other shades in here. I do absolutely love this brown metallic. I love it so much on my outer corner, all over the lid. It's beautiful. I also love this very silvery metallic here. This one here is beautiful just as a lid setting shade. This one is a beautiful inner corner. I love everything here. I love the 3 metallics with these 3 mattes here. It's so beautiful. Okay, so there's a lot in this palette that I really like, but I don't have it for a very long time, so I haven't used it that much. So I think the most progress I could make is probably in this inner corner highlight shade here, or maybe in one of the transition shades, or maybe in this transition shade here. So we will see. I will just start working on it. I have the tiniest bit of a dip going in this eyeshadow here, so maybe we can focus on this one too. So we will just see where it leads us during the month, but yeah, I'm excited to start working on this palette. And I'm so happy that I could get it this time when they restocked it. It's so beautiful. Look at the packaging, it's so amazing. And I love that the pens are magnetic, because I can always switch them out for something that I want to have in there. Especially if I want to create a little palette for Halloween for myself, I can just switch things out. And yeah, it's such a gorgeous packaging. Oh, I'm just in love with this palette. I feel like ColourPop always kills it when it comes to packaging. So that's it for today. These are the 2 palettes I'm going to work on in my first month of my Pan in Every palette project. So just to recap a bit, my goal is to hit pan in every palette in my collection during this year. And the first half of the year with this project will be kind of a preparation for that. I want to really work on eyeshadow palettes that I haven't focused on before and that I didn't have tried to hit pan in any of these shades in the palette. So I just wanna, start working on these palettes and prep them for really being able to hit pan in the second half of the year. So that's my goal. If I can hit pan immediately, that would be awesome, but I just don't know if I can do it. So we're just going to try it. So let me know down below what you think about this project, if it's fun for you to watch, to follow along, if you think it's a good idea to do it this way. Just let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for your support and your love on my videos and for following my projects. If you don't want to miss any uploads, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And thank you all so much for watching. I wish you all a beautiful day.